Thank you for listening to and watching the Creaming in Your Thank you for listening to and watching the Dreaming Insomniacs, the podcast. I have StOOven here. Hi, StOOven.
Hello.
So let's explain some shit to the people so they're not confused. Do you want to lead in?
I guess we have a lot of cool new things coming up for you guys. We've really been.
Before that, explain who you are and what you do in the group and what you have done and always.
Oh yeah, the new label too. That might be confusing some people. The hat. I'm one of those guys. I put on a new, anything, and people are like, "Who the hell is this guy?" And I just look like a white dude.
You're the edge.
I am StOOven, formerly known as Stephen Spacey to this community. For probably obvious reasons, I would like to move away from that moniker. I've been using StOOven for a while.
Elaborate on that.
You can elaborate on that.
Okay, so there's this actor guy named Kevin Spacey, and he was on trial for some things, and then his he made a video in character of his character from House of Cards, Frank, saying to kill them with kindness, and then 2 days later, his witness turned up dead. So. Yeah, we'd like to not have any affiliation to Mr. Kevin Spacey. Not only that, but amongst talking about the movie American Beauty with Stephen one day, we realized that scene and with the mirror with Thora Birch, where she's topless, it was filmed when she was 16 years old. So anybody who has a copy of American Beauty, you should probably burn it because you hold on to a piece of CP. So yeah, that's all I have to say on that. So StOOven it is.
Well said. StOOven it is. StOOven is just, I don't even remember where it started. One of my friends started calling me that a while back, and it stuck, and it's just been there in my background for years. So rather than be, for my electronic music in particular, rather than be one of those DJs that tries to find some flashy, perhaps even pretentious kind of name, I just went with the name that the community had already picked for me. I see a lot of DJs doing that lately, and that makes sense because it's like, okay, if you're given a unique nickname by your community, then it's going to be a hell of a lot easier for people to understand where the art is coming from. So, I just kind of chose that route for that reason. But yeah, so I am Stephen Spacey. I am the other half of the foundation of the Dreaming Insomniacs.
And if for the new people listening, how did that story begin? Do you want to tell the story?
Yeah, that was kind of interesting because this is also there's another important memory attached to the same day. So I had moved away from a pretty hectic lifestyle I had going on in Connecticut. I'm not going to elaborate on that too much, but it was one of those situations where I kind of needed to move away from the people that were surrounding me because they were just dragging me down. And I had some solace in being able to move over an hour away to Massachusetts. And I kind of just spent a year putting my head down, working, doing my thing. And then I wanted to, build up some friendships and have more of a social life. And there was this friend that I made down the street at a mobile station, gas station. And she was just surprisingly intellectual and a very good conversationalist. I would find myself going in there to just grab something real quick and be talking to her for an hour and a half about philosophy and Buddhism and what have you. Anything went with that one. So periodically I would go there just to chat with her at that point. So I'd probably hung out with her like 5 times. And Joe was friends with her prior to that for the same reasons, like being able to just vibe on a lot of different frequencies and whatnot.
I knew her about 5 times I had hung out there, and same deep intellectual conversations. Shout out.
I didn't know that. I thought you knew her longer, actually. But anyway.
I met her once at like a high school TV production thing a couple years before. That's how I knew her. And then one day I saw that she was working there. I was like, oh, hey, I know you. So we just started chatting.
So that kind of leads into the paralleled serendipity of everything that happened there. So Joe and myself lived exactly the same distance away from this station, and we've walked together many a times. We both have a kind of fast pace to us. We both walk almost exactly the same rate as it is. We live the same distance away. I know we move at the same rate. Had known this person the same amount of time, apparently. That's a funny part of the story, even.
Yeah.
And literally
Like,
bumped
really
into each
no.
other. Literally bumped into each other, like, on our way into the door. Like, I don't know who held the door for whom, but one of us held it for the other one.
Yeah,
Because we
you
were
were in
both
line in
going
front
there,
of me, so I think you might have held. All right, yeah, I held it for you because you were in front of me. I remember that.
but we were in sight of each other the entire walk from our corners of the parking lot to the
Yeah.
door. You know,
Yep.
so it was like, and and then we get to the door and get inside, and Kayla was really busy. I think she may have even been pushing a broom or something around already, and was like, "No, no, 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 no! I'm sorry, guys, I can't do this." Like, she already knew why we were both there. She's like, "Joe, this is Steven. Steven, this is Joe. You guys talk to each other. I'm way too busy today." And then she disappeared into the back room. And Joe introduced himself, and he told me about his music that he had been working on, and he was just like, "Hey, you want to hang out? Whatever. I got a pool at my house," and I said I do music too. He's like, "Oh, I have a drum set." I was like, "Word, got a PA." I'm like, "Okay, cool." I like hanging with jam buddies, especially like that being the second friend that I had made in a year. I had no friends, just working, just family, work. That's it. Production, a little music production in my spare time, sifting through my own new musical interests. That was like literally all I did for a year. And then that was highly enticing because I wanted to get back in my flow. You know, I was used to doing that. That's who I am, and I had been away from it for a long time. So we went and we did our thing, and we actually played, what was it, Last Kiss, Pearl Jam's version. I know that's a
We
cover,
did.
but I forget of
We
whom, but
did.
that's a cover. And that was
Yeah,
the
it's an
very
old.
first track that we played. I don't usually drum, but he was like, "Oh, do you know this?" And I'm like, "It's a '50s beat." Yeah, I know it.
Ta
Like,
ta
no,
ta ta
no
ta.
offense to the style, I do love it, but it
It's a
was
50s beat. Yeah.
it was very easy to approach. Like, it was actually a very good first thing to cover on an unfamiliar instrument. And so it kind of, there was chemistry going on the second we got into a jam room. And the other very important memory attached to that day is the meeting of my partner to this day, Jana.
Right. So, and what was that date? That was May of 2015,
It was
right?
May 29th.
Mhm.
And excuse me, we've been together for 9.5 years. We were official like shortly after that in June.
Thank you for
And
knowing that. So, the Dreaming Insomniacs technically formed as a band on May 29th, 2015. Also, like they were both.
I don't know why exactly I remember that. I mean, this is coming up on a
Well, it's the
decade.
anniversary. It's the anniversary of your relationship too. So of course you
Yeah,
remember that. But that's good you remember that because now I know the band's anniversary exactly to the date too.
when the day was there, that was just a day that was happening. I didn't know that that was going to be the first day of a relationship this long or meaningful, nor did I know that it was going to be the day of a band this long or meaningful.
Well, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I used my little invisible Cupid arrow and bow, and I shot you in the butt with an arrow, and I shot Shayna in the butt with an arrow, and then y'all just kind of like your asses gravitated towards each other like this, and y'all have been locked
Yeah,
in
just
tight ever since.
yeah,
And it's just ass to ass, you know.
just asked. Yeah, and that's how we get intimate. Everybody, we just touch our
Yeah.
butts together and just go.
Yeah, Stephen and Shayna are
That's
not
it.
human; they're aliens. So that's how aliens have sex. Actually, Scary Movie 3 was pretty accurate with
Joe
how
is
the
not an
aliens pee
alien,
from their
so
finger and they say
Joe is
hello
not an
and
alien, so
goodbye.
that's a misconception. That's not
I'm not
actually
an
how
alien.
aliens have sex.
No, I'm just
That's
an
just
I'm an
what
autistic.
he's understood from my descriptions.
I'm just an autistic. that's what I am. I'm an autistic. I'm a spectrum.
But anyway, so that's our
we're
origin story. I think
That
that's
is, yeah.
kind of cool to start this one with our origin story. So anyway, like, so
Well,
to
there's
get
more
into the meat
to
of
it
this,
though. There's more to that year that I want to add because we have to, because that's just part of the origin story. So then,
I feel like, no offense, but I feel like this is a whole other podcast. I feel like this is its own podcast.
No, I just mean getting the other two guys together and having rehearsals, and then we had that big show. Yeah. So I'm gonna mention that real quick and just cliff note it. So after
That's fine.
that, because I had been also talking to Max Zawitt, who I had known from Duncan Barton's house, because he was like hanging out in the music school there in East Bridgewater. And I was talking to him about like, because he loves Green Day just as much as me, and I'd always been looking for a Green Day fan as much as I was. So I finally found a few people who are like that. Cool. Shout out to Jaded Nimrod. Alex will appreciate that. But yeah, no. So essentially, I so Max joined as our drummer, so we could put you on bass, right? And we had Cody Markley, so shout out to Cody Markley and Max Zawitt on lead guitar, and that was awesome, like a really cool little lineup. But we were just really doing Green Day covers, so we had a show lined up in Providence, and it was a pay-to-play show. I believe it was a DVA, and it fell through. We never played it, and the only show we ever played with that lineup was my graduation party, where my dad opened for us, my dad's band.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun, but again, it was mainly just Green Day covers. So I wish I still had footage of
That was
it. I
also
don't.
2 weeks after I met you.
Yeah, it was a really close time frame.
Very limited. Limited practice window.
but it was our first show, so that was cool. And Justin Arena played that show. Shout out to Justin Arena.
Yeah, Justin Arena and what is it? Together Records.
Yeah, and Nervous. The band's name is Nervous Band. So go check out.
Yeah, everything they do, that whole community is fantastic. Like I got a quick little story about that one too. Like in terms of origin stories, it's not like our origin story necessarily, but it's like a very, very, very important memory in terms of like that, the seeding of that whole part of our lives. So a friend of ours, I won't say her last name, but friend Alex, she had this property in her parents had this property in Bridgewater, and there was this very good sized barn on it, and the barn once upon a time was a venue. It still had a really good sized stage set up in it, all kinds of like like mirrors with like beer logos, old beer brands that don't even exist anymore. Hanging
Wait,
up tall, like high top.
Is that the place I got drunk on cheap vodka at? Told everyone to get fucked in the ass during time of your life, and you left the band for a while. Was that place?
That was a rough time, yeah. But so a week before that, date.
Well,
that was the Halloween. That was a Halloween show. Hey, we all know the demons be running rampant on Halloween sometimes.
Dude, there was a bucket of vodka. What did you expect? I was hit, like all these high schoolers were being dicks and getting drunk, and I was just like, fuck it, free vodka. I didn't realize how fucked up I was. I shouldn't have gone on stage, dude. I couldn't have said.
I don't think you should have either.
No, I could.
But
I
hey,
could have just.
It was a chill enough thing, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think
Well, I'm just glad it wasn't filmed.
Same.
Like the show before that we did was DBAM Fest, and that's up on the channel.
That's a
Definitely
good
watch
one.
that. That was fucking.
That's a mint show right there. I like that one. Anyway, so back to the Justin Arena thing.
Yeah.
So actually, no, it was the other way around, actually, because I think that was a Halloween show that we did, or like it was like a few days before Halloween. That was a Halloween show, the one in the barn.
Yeah, but DBAM was August of that year. Couple months
and then
before.
Justin Arena came to that because
he did. He was at the barn too.
And the reason he came to this is because that's what Together Records and all those people are about, is these barn parties, these barn shows, these very like grassroots local folk artists, like really laying their hearts out on the fucking canvas.
Some of our earliest shows because of Justin.
There's an amazingly like unified vibe going on in that entire label, despite all of the artistic individuality that's occurring there. So there was like anything from like, even one of the people on his label, it was like I don't know what his affiliation was or whatever. It was like these really talented like teenage girls, and like their dad was their manager, and he was like, what, they need places to play, whatever, these they're not going to play in bars, these barns will let them in. So like he would always, in whatever way he could, he would try to get anyone who had the talent on the stage to showcase that shit.
Let's refrain from saying he regarding Justin, because I've seen Justin.
Oh, that is true. I appreciate that.
Let's say they at least.
I appreciate that actually, because you're right about that. And I believe that may have even been a part of the conversation last time we spoke. But when you're speaking to somebody directly, you don't really hear pronouns.
Yeah, and we're also referring
So,
to Justin back then, not now. So things
yeah,
have
that's true.
changed since
Exactly.
then.
That's the thing, as we're referring to back when the pronouns were he.
Right. So and
Um,
that's okay. I just wanted to clarify because we had Kai Farah from Late Nine on, really big
yeah.
Boston band, and he knows Justin, and he didn't know, and I think Justin got
Mm.
upset about that. Was happy about the shout out,
I
but
yeah.
still, like I don't want to. I love
I
Justin.
I
Justin
respect
gave
people's
us our first
identity.
Boston shows, man. PA's Lounge and Out of the Blue. If it wasn't for Justin, we wouldn't have got those shows.
Oh,
If it
again,
wasn't for a bunch of those barn shows that I played.
it's part of why we're going through this little thing right now. I
That's
mean,
what
this
I'm
is about
saying.
future
So
stuff, and here we are talking about ancient history for the band. But
7
anyway,
years ago, 8 years ago.
so anyway, so Justin had come out to the barn party that I threw at Alex's house, and like I said, it was like an actual venue. I had like the high top tables, a pool table, like all these fixtures that were still left from when it was this vintage venue. It was a fucking cool for that reason.
Yeah, it was cool.
And very, very multi-genre. We had some friends DJing, some people playing acoustic sets. We had one guy come in with a sitar and a bunch of guitar pedals, a laptop, and beats that he had made, and he played backing tracks and put his sitar through effects on the stage.
What's his name
That
again?
was wild.
Oh,
Brian
Wolverton.
Brian Wolverton. Exactly like it sounds.
Yeah.
Look this guy up. He's the man. He's one of my, we're not as close as we could be, but once upon a time I saw him very frequently, and he's a little tighter in my immediate circles. Love the guy. If you see this, Brian, I love you, man. Yeah, he's the fucking shit. He's one of those cool, I forget exactly what he did, but I think he worked in like a town office or something like that. He was doing like a semi-political towny job, but then would go out to these amazing hippie festivals and play his sitar with his headdresses on and stuff like that. And I'm like, that is so cool that you can live that such a split vibration of life. But yeah, so anyway,
Amen.
Justin asked me, he saw that party, he thought it was really cool, and he was like, this is an amazing space, and you did the sound really well in here, especially for how many genres played. Could I do a show in here? I was like, sure. So like literally the next week they set up all their vending tables, like for the people that they had vend for it, and they had like 10, 12 different artists. All of them had slightly different things going on, some more elaborate, a lot of them just guitar and vocals, but all of them had to be mixed differently, and that was a really good time. That was really fun mixing in that kind of space, just wood floors, high ceilings, and an old antique wood barn. That's his vibe. That's what he did. That's his whole thing. So if you're interested in Together Records, Justin Arena, any of that, if any of that sounds organic and homey and right, you'll like all that.
Go follow Together Records and Justin Arena and Nervous Band. I'll put the links in the description as well. Also,
I wish I could remember more of the artists from the label right now, but it's been a minute since I've actually combed through that particular roster. But
to be honest with you, I didn't even remember that Justin was at that show until right now. I don't know who I even played with. Did I play acoustic or did we play together? I don't even know what happened.
You and I played acoustic, and I remember we what did we do? I don't even have a guitar around here to show you. Sadly, they're all in my new place.
That's
I'm moving,
crazy.
guys. Sorry.
You remember that better than me, though. That's fucked. I was that fucked up that night. Holy shit.
Well, you got to remember, I had to do sound at these things.
Yeah, and I know, but remember how many shots I took in that bucket. I don't think I usually don't top myself with drinking hard liquor like that. But there was like a bucket of free vodka. So when my 21-year-old self was like, I just turned 21. Fuck yeah. Like literally 3 weeks before that. So, or less than that, September 9th. Right? And that was like October 17th or some shit. So that was like 2 weeks later, dude. I was on a fucking bender. Okay? Yeah. Take it from Mr. Mackey himself, okay? Better that than Mr. Garrison. I heard he's rallying. Yo, you know how the last you know how they ended just on a side note real quick, you know how they ended the last season of South Park? in the last episode. So Garrison's got this new boyfriend Rick, and like he's like tempted to go out and rallying, but he's saying he's through with it, right? So throughout the episode, he finally does, and he's like apologizing to Rick. He's like, "I'm done rallying, I promise, Rick." And he's like, "We'll see about that in November." And then the whole season ends.
That's good.
I love South Park.
Yeah, anyway, so we are here to talk about goals in 2025
Yes.
for the Dreaming Insomniacs. So I think we should go ahead and get to that.
Had to give him a history lesson first, Stephen.
Absolutely. I'm not. Hey, I'm. I'm not hating.
Throw a little things people didn't know in there too. Like this is a cool reason to watch this one for people.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially like to put that, like our origin stories, like right up against what we have coming up, which in my opinion, like I'm really excited. I think a lot of you guys know I've had no involvement to neutral involvement to minimal involvement for many, many albums, except for very recently where I've been a lot more involved in contributing very heartfelt pieces and being a lot more involved overall with all of the layers of what's occurring rather than just because one thing I will say here is like I think everybody can kind of see that a lot of the time this band is run like 2 solo acts in one band with other layers on top of it, especially for live purposes, like then there's other things that can be filled in on top and it can kind of be the glue. To be fair, Joe and I live 1,500 miles away from each other. I'm just south of Boston, and he's just east of Orlando. So, like, ultimately, we're not in this position to be able to just get in the same room and jam with each other all the time. So, the fact that we can even collaborate as we are is amazing, and we've been cooking up some really good stuff. So,
Bro, do you know what I had to do even when I came back from Missouri? And I lived in Marlboro just to come rehearse with you. I had to take an Uber to take a train to go to Boston and South Station, wait like an hour, take another train to then either take an Uber or walk to your place. It was like 4 different methods of transportation just to get to you so we could rehearse.
I feel that. Unfortunately, when South Station ends up being like a part of your route, it can take you way out of your way. But that's because of how centralized that transportation is. You know what I mean?
I'm grateful for it.
That's like when I go to Brooklyn.
I'm grateful for it because like my dad worked on Amtrak, so I had this pass. So like
yeah.
I'd flash it to the engineer or conductor to see if they let me on. And most of the time, every time they would. One time there was a conductor that didn't want to in South Station on the way to Marlboro, and the engineer said, "You see that name right there? That name saved my fucking job. You let him on right now." I called my dad up. I was like, "Hey, someone remembers you." They're like, "I didn't know any." He's like, "I didn't know anyone there was still around from when I was there. That's so nice." Because he was a union rep, so he saved jobs. So it was really cool. Like the one time someone was gonna say no, I still got to. So yeah, it was an excuse for me to listen to music on a long form journey just to get to you. So it got me in the mindset. That's why like whenever I got there and you just wanted to like chill and smoke first, I was like, let's do music. Like the dynamic.
You're like, I'm warmed up already. What do you mean? Let's go.
Does that explain some things?
Like, yeah, well, you know me. Like, I'm always.
You're more
that's one of my.
Yeah,
that's one of my hang-ups as a person. I will say, like, I definitely stop and smoke pot first. Too many times, not like too many times in each thing, but like too many times overall through the course of my life.
Yo, we left out like some shit too. We left out our TV performance, our embarrassing first TV performance where I was rip shit baked.
Well, that's also that's online, so you guys can just go watch that. In fact, this is
Talking Tunes, Motte and Spacey.
I don't know what corner it's going to be in, but there'll be a link.
I'll put it in the description. You'll see it. Talking Tunes, Motte and Spacey. That's what it's called.
Does anybody even do that anymore? Does anybody put the little like text link on the window anymore?
I do.
I haven't seen it in a while.
There's some on our channel here.
Okay.
Our channel's cool, you know. I like to do that nerdy shit, you know.
Our channel's so hip that we do things that nobody does anymore.
Everybody does it. They're
I'm just
trying
kidding.
to like say, "Oh, DaVinci Resolve is industry standard for editing video." Fuck that. iMovie's easier and better. So
I
DaVinci
wouldn't know.
Resolve, suck my balls. All right, back to the point,
I'm an audio editing guy. I wouldn't know.
dude.
But anyway, yeah.
I'm
So back
also
to
yeah.
back,
Wait. Let me just bring up the fucking your birthday party show because I have to because there's no video footage of this anymore. I deleted it.
can we not
All right, fine.
just the
No,
just the fire thing? Just the fire
yeah,
thing.
that's
Okay,
that was the point.
that's it. That's
I'll leave out the trippy good time part. So yeah, I show up on stage.
there it is.
That's all I said. I didn't leave any details. I'm up on stage and I have this blanket tied to my torso and like a cape, and I have no shirt on. I have a guitar strap tied to my head like a tie, and I'm ready. I'm fucking ready, man. I feel like a superhero. I'm ready to play some Dreaming Insomniacs shit, right? The truth is, I played most of that set being joke songs. Whatever. They ended up on Rock and Shock. But yeah, so I play the whole thing, and I'm like, the fuck is going on? Like, I smelled something at one point, right? So after the set, Steven comes up to me, and he's like, Joe, I didn't have the heart to tell you, but while you're on stage, you almost set yourself on fire. I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, the floodlight on the stage, your blanket went over it, and it started to smoke, and I was like, oh, fuck. So I go home like later on that day, and there's like a hole burnt in my blanket.
At least this big. I remember.
Flame on, some Johnny Storm shit. Well, that was just a funny story to share. That was July something 2017, July what 30th, around your birthday.
You know the only reason that I caught that?
Why?
Because the light looked weird, like the backlighting. Because all I had there, it was literally, guys, it was like 2 or 3 pallets, plywood on top, some 2x4s going up, to the 2 in the back were shorter, and like a little tarp lean-to. That's it. That's all there was to this. Maybe there was like back and front structure there just to kind of like prop that up a little better, because there was no rain, just for the shade.
All I can say is that my life is pretty plain. Oh,
but
you said no rain, so I had to.
Inside of the stage, like the backdrop, the tarp area going over there, just the light looked weird. It looks kind of
Not
so
right.
me being that insane guy that runs a show, does sound and everything related to the stage on the day of his own birthday party.
While everyone's having a trippy good time.
While everyone else is having an amazing time.
Yep.
And there I was observing the stage, going, oh, something looks a little weird. So I ran over there to reposition the light, and I realized that dude's blanket was setting on fire.
Yep.
Leaned right over it. It kind of just like Linus, just dragged it right over the light and sat down on a chair in front of it.
That's weird that happened, because like the year before that, like I saved Zach Nagel's life, and he's playing on stage with us at that show, and then you saved my life at that show. It's just like a weird, like, which one of us is Roger the Alien and who's Stan, man? Who's gonna live in whose attic? That's what I want to know.
So now Zach has to save my life.
Well, yeah, because then it's gonna be this weird trifecta of like Eskimo brothers of life saving, That didn't come out right.
If you're gonna be Eskimo brothers of any sort, I think that's the one to be.
Yeah, it's on that note, I can't tell you how many like childhood friends I'm Eskimo brothers with, and it's quite embarrassing. It's like, oh man, that's rough, and it like happened after, like they found out and then did it after, and I don't want to talk about that. But my point is, it's an interesting topic. But yeah, no, on to the
another time.
Yeah, never again. So let's lead into the next thing. Our plan for 2025. The whole point of this podcast. Sorry for getting.
It only took a half hour. Good intro.
Like I said, perfect intro. Got into the backstory. We threw everything we could in there. Some shit y'all didn't know. Some shit you did know from a different angle. Man.
So anyway, yeah. So I think I'll still preface the bulk of this, but I think this is going to bounce back to Joe really quickly here, because Joe really has been carving out the bulk of the work for our second self-titled album,
2,
and
which is our 12th album. To be
you
fucking
didn't hear it.
confusing.
You didn't hear it from me, but there may or may not be a third self-titled album.
Well, don't do that. Don't fuck with people. Just come out with it. Just come on. There's a
We're
plan.
doing it. There's
Yeah.
a third. There's a third. Yeah. Well, you got to create some suspense, man. You fucking let me do
No,
it.
there is no suspense. There's a pattern here. We work in trilogies, okay? We do.
That's true. We work in trilogies, and if you guys haven't noticed, there it is. 3 is really important to us.
Yeah, and 9,
So-
and 7, and 11, and 28. All of those numbers are very important. They
Yeah,
should
we're
be
fucking
important to all
nerds,
of you.
man.
Numerology, not astrology, bitch.
Well, both are valid,
Steven,
and neither
you can take your hippy dippy astrology shit and shove this knife up it. No, I'm kidding. It's a fake fucking knife anyway.
I was gonna say both are valid, but neither are the Bible to live by entirely. So
Right, the Bible's the
That-
Bible
what?
to live by. Boom, shaka
Yeah.
laka laka. No.
that's for debate too.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway,
'Cause King James changed that shit, bro.
hey, whoa, hey,
Well, yeah, we're not
Derailing
going there.
here.
Yeah, I know.
We're derailing here.
ADHD.
so
2025 goals with StOOven.
Joe is conducting largely the framework, I guess, and a lot of the content for number 2. And I'm working on. I pretty much have all of 3 written on an instrumental bass, on guitar anyway. The composition is laid out, and we're very excited for you guys.
Why did you have to say it like that? That I'm constructing a number 2? Like, dude. Like, come on, you're trying not to make me laugh, like, but then you're saying I'm constructing a number 2. Like, come on. Like, what am I, 12? Fucking A. Yes, what Stephen said.
He's
but
constructing a number 2, and
Number
he
2.
should be proud of it because it's gonna come out really good.
Really ripe. It's gonna.
Right.
It starts with a song called "Fading Memories," and it just might.
I can almost smell it already.
You can rip. No, "Fading Memories" will, like, if you listen to it and, like, you know what it's really about, it'll fucking rip your heart open. You'll be like, oh my god, man! Don't let it do that. Just enjoy it as a song. That's the opening track. They're not all gonna be so sappy, depressing. I just thought that was a really good, like, more real feeling, because, like, I don't know, a lot of our issues with our Back to Insomnia release was coming out robotic, right, and being overproduced. So something more real feeling, I think, was a good place to start for the releasing of the next one. And so it's the first song and the first single. It's already out, and then from there we've got a whole cool album planned for it. I mean, I'm not going to give anything away, but let's just say it's a post-apocalyptic journey in the hellscape of the reality in which we live in the world today in 2024. So, and into 2025. So there's that, and it's just a commentary on that and all the chaos going on. So there'll be some help from other people too, like my good friend Seth Lee. He's going to be doing some keyboard on the song Manifesto on Ice, which is going to be a piano ballad, but about what is going on in the world. So it won't be like what's on Spaced Out with, like, expectations versus reality being a positive piano ballad. This one's going to be, like, dark. It's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun. So that's what 2 is going to consist of. And then if you want to talk a little bit about your ideas for 3, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah. I'll also talk about my bookend for 2.
Oh yeah, Eclipse. Yeah.
I'm not gonna. Yeah. So it will possibly be released as a single, but until then, this is the only place y'all are gonna hear it. Eclipse is available on my SoundCloud, which honestly I have to check precisely what my link is. I think it's StOOven, but let me look.
I still think we should put it out as a single, but I have to add my harmonies too to it, so we can both sing on it. Which I should do tomorrow, I think. But no, that's more of an off podcast. No.
Hang on, that's right. I'm on the app. I have to look at it on.
No worries.
Yep, it is just StOOven, I believe.
I'll put the link in the description. if it's not already in there.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Um, but yeah, so on that, on my SoundCloud profile there, I have a bunch of other stuff. Mainly, what I put out in there is electronic music, but I still do put like seeds and personal bits that I do like acoustic and other genres. Like that's kind of my testing ground for everything out there, really.
Even a lot of the songs that are on Back to Insomnia that Stephen
Yeah,
did, like the
there's
earliest versions of it, whatever.
even on X. There's
Yeah.
stuff from X on there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's Omni version and
Hmm.
Dusty Ticket and a couple other good ones on there.
Yeah,
Um,
you were hopping back on. I added Benevolent Drug at the end of Purple, which was actually a piece of paper that you handed to me in 2015 around the, I think it was like the week we met. And you
which
said,
was crumpled up,
crumpled up,
thrown in the
lined paper.
trash,
Yeah, thrown in the trash. He's like,
grabbed on a whim because I was like, I don't want to feel that shit anymore, but that's a really good set of lyrics. And I
and you were
pulled it
like,
out of the trash knowing one day it would have purpose again.
you
And I
handed it
handed
to
it
me,
to this guy.
said, here, do something with this. I can't. And I was like,
Literally, it
all
was,
right.
it's a heartbreaking track about like, even though I was over her at the time, like just I laid it on pretty thick. Like it was really
Right.
a haunting track about not being able to like fully let go of the essence of somebody for at least a certain period of time anyway.
Well, it's
And
interesting because I also had
yeah,
written
I
ghosting.
didn't want to sing it. I didn't want to do anything
Yeah,
with it.
I had written ghosting in like 2017, and I played it at Out of the Blue, and my battery came out of my guitar. I don't know if you remember that, but it did, and I didn't play it again or do anything with it for years. 2021 comes along. We had just done Demolished, and that was Matt Goldstein's leaving of the band, his goodbye, his farewell, and I needed to up my game with the guitar. So I spent the whole summer working on my leads. Production of the album isn't the best, but it sounds like a classic rock album, so I'll give it that. But it closes with Benevolent Drug, and it coincided with feelings I had myself about what I was going through at the time. So that's what's beautiful about it is it's subjective, and we both have our own meaning to it. Because I just wrote a Beatles progression to the chords for it. Like even the guitar solo on the album Purple on that song Benevolent Drug, I wasn't sure about it, and I showed it to my dad in the car. And I was like, should I change the solo? And he's like, Joe, don't mess with that. I'm like, why? He's like, you made that guitar sound like it's crying. Don't change that.
You did. You really, Benevolent Drug. You did some serious justice, my man, and thank you for that. Because, like I said, I was not in the. I didn't care enough. Like I said, that was a song written about something I was trying to separate from. So I was not in the place to carry that torch anymore. But
Yeah.
it's still things that I meant once upon a time that really helped shape me in my journey, just like any other song that I've written, I guess.
I might
So
just
anyway, to
I
go
might
back
pull
to
that out live more and close shows with it just to fuck with people's hearts. That and like then pull out masking tape to follow it up. Oh,
oh, we have some depressing music if you guys haven't noticed.
Oh man.
No, it's good though. It's honestly like some of my favorite tunes are some of the saddest things that I've ever written, and that's because I really felt them. They were sincere. They were definitely genuine. I mean, I'm sure you guys can tell. Like, we don't mess around. We don't write songs because we think it's a set of words that people want to hear.
No,
we write songs
we're
because
real.
it's what we're feeling. Period.
Yeah, I mean, another one for me, one of the deepest, most fucked up songs I've ever written. Which I mean, I don't even agree with the lyrics where I say I want to die again. I wrote that a long time ago. It was just a feeling I felt. But dissolved toxicity, not the one for me. From B-sides the point. It's just a B-side. It's fucking not the best production. Again, the song rips. I love playing it live. It's just the feeling. You know what I mean? It's just about letting it go. You know, even the lyrics have evolved for the live version too. So there's that.
If you trap those emotions in your art, then there they are. Like you can like observe them. It's like it's a way to process what you're going through forever. And not only that, but you've now immortalized it in a statue that everybody else can observe that process. Yep. And I think that's half of the reason that a lot of people continue to make music that's kind of a bummer or what have you. Yep. Like it's not without purpose. It's not without function. Certainly.
I'm gonna just quote a band to follow that up. Traffic, Stevie Winwood's band, a song called Heaven is in Your Mind. Capturing moments of life in a jar, guiding your vision to heaven, and heaven is in your mind. Dun 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 dun. It's in the movie, the song, though, like take extra care not to lose what you feel, and it goes back and forth. There's like cutting edge psychedelic shit back in the '60s, man.
Hell yeah.
Before he did Higher Love, Stevie Winwood on his own, his band Traffic was fucking fire psychedelic rock, dude. Just like Rod Stewart before he went solo and did Maggie May, which is a song about a woman grooming him, by the way. Interesting discovery there. But before he did that, he was in a... Yeah, it is. Before he did that, he was in a band called Small Faces. And they were... I guess my dad was at this, like, apartment like party, and everybody ditched because the band was late or something. I don't know, I'm not quoting the story right, but regardless, the band showed up. It was Small Faces, and Rod Stewart introduced himself to my dad, and he's like, I'm Rod, and he's like, I'm Joe, nice to meet you. Which is really cool. So I mean, there's that. My dad met Rod Stewart. I'm pretty jealous.
That's pretty cool. My mom would be jealous too.
Yeah, but my point is, like, back to the whole like sadder song thing, like, you got to be able to touch into that, because if you don't reach a real place with something, then you're not going to be able to touch your audience. And I don't mean that in a creepy way. Don't take that out of context. I mean,
not like Diddy, okay?
No Diddy. Hashtag no Diddy. He's in prison. I mean, touch their hearts with your feelings, man. The things you're going through. If you're honest about it, and you just say how you're feeling right now, even if it's a feeling in a moment at a time. If you're honest about it, people are going to respect you more. If you're fake about it, people are going to be on your shit. Hollywood is changing. You got to be real. Well, that's the secret.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think like authentic art forms are becoming more heavily appreciated in every single lane. Every lane.
Reboot and remake culture. Everything is being recycled for member-berry's sake, right? Remember?
I remember.
Yeah, I remember too. So everything's being recycled for member-berry's sake. That original things are being overlooked. So those people who are doing original things are pivoting, and then they're like turning like I saw a funny reel. 2024, the year that all musicians had to become social media influencers in order to keep their business going. It's fucking true. Look at what we're doing. We're fucking doing a podcast. Woo! Everyone has a podcast. Podcasts aren't special. Accurate. Oh yeah, we're on Apple Podcasts. So is fucking everybody. Like, oh my god.
Jesus.
So special.
Oh yeah. So 2025 goals. Let's go back to the
podcast.
Let's go back to I mean, the podcast is an ongoing goal.
Yeah, it's just a fun thing we do. We like to interview people in the arts, but we have other things planned for it too.
We do, and I'll turn that back over to Joe in a minute.
Okay.
So just to elaborate on 3, because you kind of like told people like the vibe and the tone of 2, what's going on there. There is currently, to be honest, very little lyrical information decided for 3 right now. However, on an instrumental vibration, it is going to be a very warm vinyl collection kind of throwback. It's like from you'll have some Beatles influence on there. I'm feeling some like not Allman Brothers. Why am I? This is embarrassing. God damn. What are the other brothers? Doobie Brothers.
Whoa, listen to the music.
Yeah. Not that one, but like I'm feeling like a lot of their other more like truly folky good tunes that they had bleeding through some of the sound in there.
There's some Allman in there too, though. You know, there's some Allman Brothers in there too.
There is a little Allman feel here and there, but their songs are like their compositions are so long. That's why I didn't bother to compare.
They're also that's not a diss to the Allman Brothers. They're so intricate.
It's
I mean,
so
have
intricate.
y'all
Yeah,
ever listened
dude.
to Jessica? Like, come on.
Literally, dude, it's funny you say that one because when I was in high school and I was like 14, 15 years old and covering Jessica, and that was the last song that band did before we broke up. And we
Well, that makes
never
sense.
got to play it in front of everybody. And I'm like, are you fucking like? It took a long
Yeah.
time to learn that shit.
That's like trying to sit down with your family and seriously play Monopoly or Risk without destroying your
Or
family.
Risk, yeah, I was gonna say or Risk.
It's more risk. It's more risk, but Monopoly if you're less patient. Or chess. Chess could destroy families too if you're not smart about it.
My grandmother swore at me when I was 6 years old because I kicked her ass in a game of chess. She's like, motherfucker, smashed the table and everything. Like,
you hear this, people? This just in. StOOven's grandmother swore at him as a child for winning at chess. Boom.
I mean, it didn't tear us apart, but it created some strain for a minute.
That was a Dreaming Insomniacs, the podcast. Exclusive backstory. I mean, this whole thing has been, technically. I just wanted to do the cool voice. In a world where things aren't shit, is the imaginary place that is not this world. The Dreaming Insomniacs address the bullshit in the world. In this world. 2025, what's coming, Stephen?
In a world where Stephen's attention span is far longer than Joe's.
Joe must understand that his...
He continues to explain what has been attempted to be talked about this entire time.
And then he decides to open the window because it's fucking hot in here.
It's getting hot.
Or not, because it's fun to torture himself.
So open the windows.
I can't get up. I'm too stoned to open the window.
There you go. That's sing it, baby. So this on
I'm not your baby bitch.
On 3, the rest of the vibe is basically going to be how do I say, sometimes incredibly warm, sunshiny, and inviting, like some good old man jam stuff, and
Dad
also
rock.
So grandpa rock.
Oh,
better yet,
yeah.
It's grandpa rock.
Can't buy me love.
Well, like I said, there's a little Beatles influence, but it's not. Don't get me wrong. It's not a fucking Beatles album. It's not.
There's always going to be Beatles influence. There's always going to be Green Day influence.
No doubt.
There's always going to be Led Zeppelin influence, and there's always going to be the Rolling Stones influence.
And there's like some Pink Floyd influence that you can hear.
Throw Elton in the 70s in there too.
Oh yeah, I forgot I'm actually rapping. So there's a little Pink Floyd influence.
Oh yeah. Wait, which one is that? Let me see it. Fucking nice. That's cool.
Pulse.
I'm repping a mixer. I don't know if y'all can see it, but I am a synthesizer, a Roland synthesizer today. That's what I identify as today. Just today. Just today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'll identify as Joe Motte again. Just today I'm a Roland synthesizer.
I identify as a Pink Floyd fan.
That's gay.
Yeah, it is.
No, I mean happy. I mean happy. This is like 3 definitions of gay. Happy, homosexual, and stupid. Which one do I mean? I mean happy.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, nothing wrong with any of that. I mean, I'm in the queer community, but I'm not, Oh yeah, I just came out, everybody. Here I am.
Aren't we all? Y'all are a little gay. Everyone's a little gay.
See, that's the thing. It's
Kurt Cobain said it best. Like, everyone is gay.
Yeah, like legit. And like, it's not that everyone is gay. It's that I think that sexual fluidity is more prevalent than anybody recognizes at first. It takes a while to see that, and then like you either have, even if you have a streak of being very much on strictly one team, eventually
I am monogamous. I love my female fiance. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, whatever you say. No, I'm just kidding.
Rachel.
I love you too, Rachel. Love you too, baby. I'm just kidding.
Whoa. Stephen, you're using them fighting words again. In a world where Stephen uses fighting words.
God. Hey, I had to keep it interesting. She's probably watching right now. She probably thought that was fucking hilarious.
Maybe she is. Maybe she isn't. We will see. Jackson Marquise is listening.
Oh,
Oh
shit.
no, we're not going there. We're not going there tonight.
No, we're not.
No,
not
no
today.
falafel dragon. Things are coming with that too, by the way.
Who?
Jackson Marquise. Oh no. Never mind. Who? What? When? Where? Why? Cool Whip. Cool Whip. 2025. So, I'll just
anyway, let me try to finish my sentence here.
No, I'm kidding.
It's been fucking 20 minutes trying to say one damn sentence.
Are you having
This
fun?
fucking guy. You see this shit, people? This is what I deal with. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but really, are you having fun? Because that's the whole point.
I'm having a blast.
Yeah, man. It's already been almost an hour. It just flew by.
So, get ready for some warm psychedelic vibes. Also, some kind of like colder Pink Floyd-ish kind of psychedelic vibes. It's all going to be very real, whether it's sad, happy, neutral, chilling, whatever the hell. But it's all going to sound like riffs that haven't been played in like 30, 40 years. So enjoy that, guys.
A throwback. It's funny because when Brian Burns first listened to Purple, you know what he told me?
What?
And shout out to Dad Soda, by the way. He's got a new song dropping on January 17th called The Bends. He actually paid for a cameo from Kel Mitchell from, Good Burger and Keenan and Kel. So he did it in character from fucking Good Burger, giving Brian a shout out. It's awesome. But no, so Brian Burns said that Purple sounded like a classic rock album after he listened to it. And then I heard it from a different light after that. And it does, yeah. It does sound like that. I'm excited to remaster it. That'll make it sound better. It needs it badly, so that's coming. I'm just lazy. But also, we in April we're hitting our 10-year. Oh, technically May we're hitting our 10-year anniversary. Yeah. But April's going to be the 9-year. April's 18th is going to be the 9-year anniversary of our first album, The Dreaming Insomniacs, the first self-titled. So we're doing a 3-part best of collection within that month. So that'll be something to look out for. We're aiming to release 2 in August, and then we'll be, hard at work on 3 to come out whenever that's ready. So that's our year planned, and that's not even mentioning on the Hush shows we have coming up and huge things coming. So there's a lot we can't say, but there's a lot we can say. So we're just saying what we can say. That makes sense.
It doesn't make sense, Joe. Could you explain that, please?
No.
Okay.
Because you know that thing called the law of attraction, Stephen?
What's that?
It's like, okay, when you want something so badly and you say it out loud, it doesn't happen. But if you decrease the importance and you just let it happen with the intention there, it happens. So let's not talk about that anymore. But I think that people who watch our content across the board will be able to piece together what and which that I'm hinting towards. So there's a little scavenger hunt for everyone.
There's always a scavenger hunt. If y'all haven't noticed, everything ever put out by the entity that is the Dreaming Insomniacs consists of some form of scavenger hunt. If you haven't picked up on it, have fun.
Have fun. Happy hunting. And,
happy hunting.
And just maybe, if you manage to be one of the people that finds some of those little Easter eggs, you'll get a gold star DM back on Instagram. You get 1 gold star per find.
Only 1.
Just 1 per find. Now, if you find 5,
you can take that gold star and put it right on the fridge.
If you find 5 of the Easter eggs within the scavenger hunt of the Dreaming Insomniacs Records umbrella of shit, not shit, great music, whatever you want to call it. Let's be modest, of music. You find 5 of those little Easter eggs we threw out there for you. You'll get 5 gold stars as a DM from the Dreaming Insomniacs Instagram account. So, each find, you get a gold star. So, happy hunting.
But if you
Stephen.
find 100 Easter eggs, you only get like 75 gold stars.
And we might just send you a guitar pick. Because we have custom guitar picks.
Oh yeah,
Dreaming
show those out.
Insomniacs custom guitar picks.
Those are
There
cool.
we go.
Hey, whoa, you can't really see that good. Put it near you, like in front of you. No, it's just glare. There you go. There you go. Now we can see it.
So, that was a good time for a shameless plug with the awkward silence of a podcast. It's not like I've known you for fucking 10 years or anything. So
you haven't. It's been 9.5.
You know what, Stephen? Get your schematics out of here and drive them out to fucking Fenway Park, okay? And get lost in the loop of Fenway Park in the middle of the night like everyone fucking does, okay? And just drive forever in that fucking loop until you run out of gas, and then you're crying on the side of the road begging for someone to come pick you up. Because Fenway Park loop is the most confusing drive, especially at night, and you'll be there all night if you don't find a way out. So find a way out. The GPS will lie to you. Fuck Fenway Circle around it. I don't know why I just went there.
I don't either.
Sitgo sign, that's why. Sitgo sign. So there was
I think it's time for a bathroom break.
No, wait. There's before you go pee, there's one thing.
My bladder says it's time for a bathroom break.
You know what? All right, fine. We'll both take a pee break. I do these once in a while. So we're going to take a pee break, and then we're going to come back and share a story about a Red Sox game we might both have been at. In like 2005 or 6, right? A long time ago.
When the fuck was that? It was the year that Johnny Damon was traded away to
Yeah, 2005. Yeah, okay, so we were at the same game. That's
I don't know.
Might have been. I don't know.
To be fair, everybody, I used to go watch baseball, and then I just stopped giving a shit about all sports. So I haven't been in the loop for a while.
All right. Well, pee break. Thought of you still haunts me in my dreams. You are the one thing that I've held close to me. Thought of your smile when you'd speak. Relapsed again on this benevolent drug. The pain I hold in my brain is love. Thought of your smell still gets me high. Can't live without you by my side. I know that we said goodbye, and I can't live past. It's the hardest thing to do when I want you back. Relapsed again on this benevolent drug. The pain I hold in my brain is love. Thought of your smell still gets me high. Can't live without you by my side. I know that we said goodbye, and I can't live past. It's the hardest thing to do when I want you back. It's the hardest thing to do when I want you back. Finally over you, so it That was Benevolent Drug. Fucking love that song, man.
So that kind of takes me to unspoken goals, like unsolidified goals, like things Joe and I have discussed, but not really like, obviously we have so many plans in action that like we're filing through that first, but in all reality, I mean, that song was the first time that I really saw the collaborative songwriting power between Joe and I.
And I left out the piece earlier that somehow that stuck in my memory. I didn't have that piece of paper. Somehow the original lyrics stuck in my memory. Even I did a demo.
Yeah.
It's an exclusive on the Out of the Blue show remaster on Bandcamp. There's a demo for Benevolent Drug where he made it sound live. It's not. And the lyrics are different because I didn't remember them right when I did that demo. Years later in 2021, somehow I fucking remembered it right and I added to it. Like the I know, that part, I knows, I added that.
Well, you did a great job with your rendition of that, honestly. And, I'm sure you guys can imagine, especially given the context of the relationship that I described, that Joe helped bring to fruition. In the face of all that, that song was not something I was trying to sing myself. I'm glad that somebody else did it for me.
Speaking of,
but hang on, let me finish my point here. So,
sorry.
So one of the things that, just real quick here. So one of the things that I would like to tell the public here is the fact that you and I have been talking about that, like our collaborative songwriting, how like you and I we've done so much of this like dual solo project thing. And it's fun, but there's something about that that's getting a little old, and we need to like kind of interlace our styles together more during some of the songwriting processes. And we've already discussed this. So given how fast we're already kind of blasting through some of this progress, I think that's something else that is going to be seen in 2025. Will be more work where every bit of effort that you're hearing is much more of a like central effort rather than one of us leading the bus and the other being a passenger. There's been a lot of that. And we do that well. We do that really well. I'm not shitting on that process by any means. I think y'all can hear we can pull that off. But that song really showed me that, like, it's really reminding me now even of the the power that we actually have when we kind of put our heads together down the middle on something, whether it's one coming up with lyrics or one revising lyrics or chords or whatever. There's, rather than like, hey, you want to throw backups on the song I wrote? Like that works. But I think you guys are going to hear more of the Dreaming Insomniacs acting as a unit rather than two efficient leaders.
I like that. That's cool. So, speaking of coming together and making things happen, last time I went grocery shopping, right? I got this thing of Breyer's chocolate chip cookie dough, and I was telling you about it on the phone. I opened the thing up; it's fucking vanilla, and you're like, someone had a Friday day.
Yeah, that was Friday work right there.
Yeah. So I thought that was funny. So I asked you if I should make a video about it. You said, yeah. Well, this kind of like blew up in our faces in the best way. I mean, fuck it. Breyer's felt really bad. They have a really good customer service support thing. So I want to give them a shout out because they sent me this like apology for lack of quality letter. It's like officially stamped. I'm going to frame this. It's like from their... I can read it too if you'd like me to. And they gave me a coupon.
Go ahead, mate.
They gave me like a custom coupon for free ice cream. Oh, I hope. Yeah, don't take that. Fuck you if you try to take that. I don't think it's scannable. It's like 720p. But okay, I'm not reading my address. Let's leave that out. Dear Joseph O. Motte, thank you for contacting us regarding Breyer's chocolate chip cookie dough frozen dairy dessert. They can't call it ice cream? That's nuts. What's in it? We're very sorry to learn you had this experience.
What's in it?
We're very sorry to learn you had this experience. Our company is dedicated to marketing products of only the highest quality and safety. Providing
that you cannot call ice cream.
Providing, like, this is over a joke. I just said, like, bro, are you calling me vanilla? Are you like ice cream king shaming me? Like I was joking. I was like, I even messaged the person in the PR. I was like, I hope I made someone laugh. Like that was the whole point. Providing superior products at competitive prices is our commitment to you. We are concerned when we hear of a problem involving one of our products, and we'll share with your comments with the appropriate staff. Oh fuck! I hope someone doesn't get fired. Don't fire anyone over this. I was joking. Fuck. We regret any inconvenience.
We're going to find out who was working on that Friday.
Dude, I swear to God, if somebody loses their job and livelihood over this in their home in this economy, I'm going to be really pissed with Breyers. Don't fucking do that. All right, back to what I was saying. Or we'll cover it. We regret any inconvenience. Well, that would inconvenience me. We regret any inconvenience the situation may have caused you. Again, that would inconvenience me if somebody lost their job over this. I'm glad people still work at factories. That's the whole point. Please accept the enclosed with our sincere appreciation for using our products. If you have any additional questions or comments, please call us at our toll-free number or visit our website. Sincerely, Chris Green, Customer Services. Consumer Services, sorry. So yeah, I'm going to frame that. That time we trolled Breyers.
Reminds me of when I got a fucking oatmeal cream pie package that was empty. Like, my parents bought like a box of 12, and there was one of the plastic sleeves that was sealed but empty. And it was like in the middle of the package too. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like someone like ate one and put it back in. And I mean, the whole box was proper. So we took a picture, sent it to them, let them know, more or less just as like, hey, is there something wrong with like your factory setup or whatever? We weren't trying to get anything out of it. They sent us a freaking case of oatmeal cream pies.
You know what?
They sent us like a half a year's supply of oatmeal cream pies over one empty sleeve.
I think they were hitting on you. I think they wanted to give you an oatmeal cream pie.
Lesson to the public: when you find a product that is not what they promised, tell them.
Yeah.
You'll get
even if you're fucking joking.
Even if you're fucking joking. I had that too. I forget what brand, unfortunately, at this point, but I opened up some peanut butter crackers at some point this year in the summer, and they were just crackers.
Fucking assholes. Where's the peanut butter? That was the whole point. If I wanted crackers, I would have just eaten crackers.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, are you kidding me? You could, like, if it was like I got peanut butter crackers and they had, like, chive or something, I'd be like, whatever.
The way
sour
you say
cream or
peanut, I
something,
keep
but
thinking you're about to say penis.
no, nope, no. If I got peanut butter, if I purchased a package of peanut butter crackers and there was a penis in it instead,
That's some Van Gogh shit.
I would be I think I would be pretty upset about that. I think I would have to write a strongly worded letter.
I think that joke just flew over your head.
What?
I said that's some Van Gogh shit.
What?
Because Van Gogh cut off his ear and gave it to his girlfriend in a box. They made a joke. They made a joke in Family Guy, right? Because he gave her his ear, and she's like, "Well, at least we can still make love." And he's like, "Ooh, you wouldn't like my next gift." And he's like holding a box.
I do remember that one. No, I actually didn't hear you say that.
Yeah, that's some Van Gogh shit. How do we get to castration on this podcast? What are we doing? Next, it's going to be cannibalism.
Castration is severing of the testicles, not the penis.
Well, what about breaking of Florida laws?
What about that? You talking about Florida Man? Dun da da da! Florida Man.
This is tobacco. this is tobacco. And tobacco is completely legal in Florida. I left out the pat where it's wacky tobacco though. Oh, my Boston just came out. I gotta pack the can, have it yard, and give the dog a quarter. Come on. Let me call Ma. Ma, make some pasta. Go to Florida. Not Florida.
I'm just glad in my
Florida.
I'm glad that in my 10 years in Massachusetts, one thing I did not pick up is a Boston accent.
Oh, man, I guess you don't remember when you get drunk.
Well, you realize that I use voices when I'm drunk, right?
Me too.
And I was also raised by you as well, Rhode Island folks.
Yeah, me too. My dad's from Providence. So,
I'm saying like both my parents
but,
like Pawtucket.
But my dad's accent has changed. He used to say sarcastic instead of sarcastic. Now he says sarcastic, right? So it's weird. His like accent's evolved since I was a kid. He talks different now.
Yeah, that happened with my dad too. I mean, you got to remember, my dad grew up in Connecticut, and then we were in Texas for a few years when he was in the service, and then we came back to Pawtucket.
Shout out, Mike.
And then we moved to Connecticut when I was fucking 6, and then we stayed in Connecticut until my parents split when I was 13.
So you just got all of that New England.
And then he went to Westerly, which is Rhode Island, but not really. It's right next to Connecticut, and it's just a touristy beach town. It's not like, it doesn't have an indicative accent out there, you know what I mean?
Well, it used to with Guild, but then they stopped building Guild.
I used to walk by that old factory like every week. That was actually really cool seeing that all the time. So
we'll share the story of why I don't have my Guild anymore. I think I already did. I did on the Paradox podcast, actually.
You just did it, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I forgot.
No, whatever. I forget what I was even saying anyway.
No, I'm sorry. We got so off topic, but it's okay because it all has relevance. I mean, we really touched on what we're doing for the year and our plans. So.
Yeah, I think we could probably go ahead and wrap this up any minute now because, like, personally, I don't have any more things to talk about for our plans for the year at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be other things that come up. Obviously, if you guys are staying tuned, you're going to hear all the upcoming updates. But
should we mention Phoenix Rising or no? Wait for them to. I just did. That's enough.
You did, but like, Just go look that up, guys, for now, and
When it comes.
you can make your let's make a separate post about that. I think that deserves either its own like podcast or post or whatever. Because
we announced it on the one with Jamie, so that's there. So if you want to know more about that and other things coming with that, watch our podcast with Jamie Bennington.
There you go.
And a bunch of our others.
And just throwing it out there, maybe put a timestamp in the description.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Anyway.
Yeah, or
if he forgets, remind him in the comments.
Yeah. Watch me be a dick and turn the comments off just because you said that.
You motherfucker.
We'll see we'll see how I feel. We'll see.
Anyway,
you called me a motherfucker? That breaks my heart, man. That breaks my fucking heart. Okay.
Oh, grow some skin.
Thank you for listening to Skin. Fighting words, Stephen. We're gonna have to go take this out back.
Hey, I didn't say I didn't pick up anything from Boston. I just didn't take their accent on.
You know what? If you say go Yankees, I'm gonna rip you a new asshole. I'm kidding. All those MLB teams are great. Thank you for listening to and watching the Dreaming Insomniacs, featuring Joe and StOOven, the founders of the Dreaming Insomniacs. And we have more to come, so stay tuned for 2025, the biggest year of all. Bye, everyone. You don't